An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been... You rattle the handle a bit. An old door, worn by elements. You rattle the handle a bit.
Аж 3%. Чтобы попасть в бункер. Это значит, что у нас 30 попыток. Может быть меньше, может быть больше, но в среднем 30 загрузок. Я не знаю, как увеличить шансы. Может быть, можно что-то выпить. Кстати, может быть, можно крутить технику. Вообще не влияет. Техника 8, но все равно мало. Здесь особо нету умений техники. Вещи всего лишь на +2 к технике. А может быть какая-нибудь плюшка, типа как на контейнере, где сидит мужик-миллионер. Надо всего лишь выкинуть все шестерки. Это тоже возможно. Просто не очень часто. Если игра не сломается, что я постоянно закрываюсь. Блин, обидно, если мы не узнаем, что за в бункере творится. Нам бы еще с остальными мужиками поговорить. Сколько уже было попыток? 10, 12. Все. Можно и 100 раз здесь оставить. Вот будет обидно, если там какая-нибудь сюжетная хрень, к которой мы не должны добраться. Нужно критический шанс. Так, даже интернет пропал. Ну, давайте еще 10 попыток. Ну, просто реально скучно. Можно, кстати, загуглить. Находится за дверью в бункере. Может быть, я зря лезу. 9 попыток. Зачем гуглить? 8 попыток. 7. 6. Пять. Главное не загрузиться, когда нормально открыть. 4. 3. 2. 1. Ну и последняя. Больше попыток не осталось. Ладно. Разная попытка можно сделать один раз. История она сладкая. Обожают наши мужики. Значит, файл не найден.
Yes, what is it? The swallow, you mean? Freight.
Swallow. Так, у ребят все хорошо. Дары я не преподнес. Не знаю, почему не могу отдать в руку. Может быть, нужно еще что-то. Надо сходить к главному в Союзе. Набережная Мартинеса. Ну, хищных руков заглянем. Ну, там делать, ну что предложит. До свидания.
Officer, what happened?
You're not limp. She sounds almost
Ну,
disappointed with
хотите
you,
поболтать?
reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
Look at you, you can barely walk. Doesn't look like nothing. What happened to you anyway?
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guilet.
You didn't only get shot.
Well, good for you. So you're a killer. That's good, I guess. I guess. Better than being dead. Hi. I guess you are. Of course. Can I help you with something? That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. For the communist.
Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring the twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place?
Be my guest. They've a strange way of... I'm sad to hear that. Take care of that with Ethan.
That's cool. You boasting your bacterial infection like that.
If you promise to bring it back. And no scraping the hull. I just got it nice and yellow. And no...
Of course, ma'am. It's only for...
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes.
Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's a small tank.
Our tenant, even I can, though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own ill omen. I'm not sure those were the loss of the...
Then we'll be ready for them. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks.
And that iron. That's, nothing. It's just a seafood and some blood. And we make a fire. We make... Gather the sticks.
Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important.
I don't know what these are. They're lights. The fire guy can...
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of they must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. He does. Yes.
A suspicious request made out of fear.
I don't know.
Did you mean there are
Yes. No, he doesn't live there. I know he lives there. Been there twice. He doesn't live there. He isn't there.
anything else?
I don't know. We ran. He just yelled. We shouldn't be our father. Don't say that. He didn't. I don't know. Doesn't even have anything to do with this.
The two things are unconnected. Your question didn't make sense.
There's
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
Man, you're like...
The legend! He's back! And firstly, I got smokes and piss and a little speed to spice things up.
Все нынче только стоит. Статская стоимость. Сейчас с кем-нибудь поболтаем. Может, понятно. Сын тут был. А второй, который стоял на причале. Значит, ловушку проверим.
Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the Arch.
A few locusts trudge up, poor things.
Limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like cool. That's cool. Me? It's a boring story, officer. Very cool. You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes, keep saving that economy.
Between you and me, this is why I don't get involved in local politics. In its purest form.
Очень интересно, каждый может что-то сказать по поводу данной событий.
Mon Dieu, you set it on fire.
What kind of a policeman are you? Oh, of course. I didn't think of it.
My man, you're alive. Man, what a day. So what's next? You guys heading back to Jamrock now? Talk is local union muscle were behind it all. I'd reckon the case is closed, even if it kind of turned. Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you, but hey, you're still breathing, right? Okay.
The lieutenant, what are you doing?
Woof. Good on her. Merciful. Down.
He's clearly really...
All right.
Nope. Don't smoke. Some of the other drivers do, though.
Hey, isn't he, like, smoking right now? The smell is in the air.
Okay. But this is my last one. And it's a bad habit. You should quit before...
A lorry stuck. The old king and his horse. Stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Any political movement goes through a period of strife, yet it goes back to an older era where this was hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting in or out for the time being. No, man.
He says it matter of fact.
Time will tell. I'll tell Everett you drop by. I'm sure I'll be okay here. Doing lookout. Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any insane killers turn up. I'm sure I'll be luckier than you, friend.
Наконец-то. Ящик. Все?
Everyone says you started crying in the middle of a firefight and then bled like a pig. I guess that was cool. People, they say you'd kind of died for a moment, that you let your shit out already, but then came. Just don't think because you got half your dick shot off and you're in. Kuno doesn't reward weakness. It's
feels good for some reason.
Watch out, pig. It's a dangerous world out there. But who knows?
Die before I squeal, pig.
Oh my god! Things have gotten out of hand! I thought the psychic stuff was bad, but the crime, it's even worse. I haven't been able to come to work for 3 days. The shop has been locked. Oh my god. Even the police can't take care of all of this. Maybe I should close the bookstore and open a psychic. I could teach people to protect themselves against bad energies. and to fight crime.
Yes, what Martinez really needs is...
Exactly. It's a brilliant... In the meantime, do buy the books.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The metal fill. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. It is given your money disappears into the coin slot. The curtains on the display open. The lenses shift. It looks as its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Can you tell?
It's not. The details are blurry. There's water vapor.
Give me a moment.
Hello, mister. Bye.
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats. The boat's belly is a shiny yellow color, industrial paint over fresh tar. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're... Have you made all the necessary preparations? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this. The skiff float once you get... Have you met... Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank.
What? Fine. Let's blast Sadefem then.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant, in the silence, a sputter of wings. There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing. Let's go. The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
Ah, yes, so it seems. For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also...
As a defensive measure, lock it off that side.
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running. The lieutenant puts his hand on the...
It's cold now, but someone has been meant...
Wait. Haven't you heard this before?
Downstairs, somewhere? Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout. The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel.
The lieutenant pauses. Something seems to be
long and cold.
There's no time to dwell on this moment. You've got a hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust falls from...
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm.
The wind outside picks up suddenly with a faint... There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh.
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain. Thick.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to sleep. The lieutenant.
It's called.
Wait.
Downstairs, liquid carb. The kind.
The lieutenant.
Long.
There's no time to dwell on this. A hollow ring.
I don't know. Someone who is.
The wind outside. Books and magazines lie scattered on the most are soft covers. Among what is mostly commercial fiction.
Someone's made themselves a home. You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel block. Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still... Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
This old cylindrical generator. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use, branded, and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Mot.
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like quite old and grimy from years without cleaning. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look trepidation. A tingling, a small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirl. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop. The upstairs window of Glasia's room. In the snow.
Do you have a line of sight to do?
More than that.
I can see it. Through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone.
Cheek against the cheek rest. Hand on the hair trigger. On a calm day like this.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest. Why? We don't go everywhere in the 1,000-meter radius of the crime scene. That's not procedure. Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands or get them drunk.
The lieutenant pauses.
We will make up for it. Here. Where?
He does not answer. He feels uncomfortable.
We should move now.
There's a rain-soaked mattress.
B triple prime.
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium. The keys rattle like teeth. This key...
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs with possibly urgence, ouvert, allumé.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a...
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was... We should look around outside. There are barrels all over.
The boat engine. The console looks on as you talk, mute and unpowered. The console is powered.
Electrical devices do not work without electricity.
The console is... Nothing happens. The dial slides under the glass. An idea lights up in your head.
This is an air-gapped system. Of air, I think they call it. That won't work. No, I'm not. But it would not be very good military technology.
Soft covers, serialized, fantastic. Soft covers, serialized. Soft covers, serialized. Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly like reading.
Ouzia. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Wasn't there some in the communist students' room?
Well, yes.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous...
Again, I am not a philosopher, but whoever...
Interesting.
Again, I am...
Interesting. There's a greasy old...
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh. Recent.
You force the rest of the sentence out.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what? Yes, anytime. If you need...
You don't have to be a hero. This old cylindrical generator waits with its fuel. The greasy old...
The offer still stands.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark. The blanket, you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to sleep. Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the... Okay, don't say you need to talk right away, but you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go.
Hey. I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically. I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry? Well, I'm in my head too. We're all in our heads. Sometimes, not as often as I used to. So much time has passed. More than it seems here.
This is everything I always warned you about.
I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time to...
Привет. Как игра? Знаешь, как хорошая такая книжка с отличной историей и раскрытыми главными героями. Но ее действительно приходится читать. И, скорее всего, это игра для одного человека. Ее невозможно смотреть, как мне кажется, или комментировать. Потому что текста очень много, и каждый читает со своей скоростью. Мне кажется, если ты любишь читать книги, то как минимум игра должна тебя заинтересовать. Забыл подключить озвучку. От кого-то спросилось. Ну, все, попробуем что-нибудь написать.
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions. She sighs and looks. What are you doing? Stop saying things like that.
I'm going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime. Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush. Oh, this. This is just a wreath. The crown of immortality is made of rarefied light, mana and...
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what. Silence. Her nuptial gown flows.
Anyway. No, Harry. It's just regular skin. I'm not as beautiful as you always thought I was.
She does not answer. Silence. A distant wind blows. You can't think of anything pretty to say.
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. We don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us and it's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now.
Я же не провалю шанс, да?
With your feet trembling from the steps you took, tepid and fearful, you stand against her. She is not kissing you back. Her chest rising like a pillow, warm exhalations against the side of your hidden, distant, kept safe from you. Feels like soft fuzz, a bird covered in down feathers, brushing against your broken capilla. The world's most precious material, reserved for those she lets close enough to feel it. You are stealing a touch. This was not about failure or success. This was always going to be the delicate wreath on her forehead, pressing into your temple. The silver is cold from the spring eve. Her hand does not return the grip. Her distrust for you. The curve of her spine, her shoulders hunched. Nothing, just pillows against you. Unresponsive, but apricot-scented chewing gum. The moment is ending. She is going to move her face away from yours. Trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew, and you, brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
No, I'm just Dora. Why did you do that to yourself? You know I don't cheat, Harry. I never cheated on you.
She breathes out heavily, as if something painful has passed through her, and shakes her head. She shakes her head one more time. The evening wind rustles her hair.
No, Harry. Not yet. There is one more thing you have to see. I'm pregnant.
Думаю, гоночки поинтереснее.
Ну, да, сколько в них играешь? Если ты в них играешь 500 часов, то иногда хочется просто расслабиться, почитать разные истории.
Of course not. I terminated yours. Don't you remember? Now, go ahead. Ask me more questions.
No, this has to end. More questions. Ask more.
НФС новый будешь играть?
Ну, у меня его нету. Я вообще не знаю, доступен ли он для приобретения на нашей территории. Ну, наверное, да, с удовольствием поиграл бы, если появится. Говорят, прикольный. У меня обзоры довольно-таки положительные. И стримеров много. Из тех, на которые я подписан. В общем, все довольны.
I don't want it. It looks expensive. I
Ты
don't
вроде
want it.
говорил, работаешь на заводе.
Это совмещенное предприятие, научно-исследовательское. Там и производственные цеха, и инженерный дивизион. Я вот в инженерном дивизионе. То есть мы можем одновременно и разрабатывать, и производить. Все довольно самодостаточно.
That's not what figurines do, Harry.
She looks at the headless found rider between your fingers and doesn't know what to say. The figurines don't do anything? Anything at all? Yes. A form of communication? Yes.
Как сейчас все норм работаешь?
Да, в принципе, нормально.
It was a good idea.
Конец года небольшие авралы, но мы вроде справляемся. Посмотрим, что будет в следующем году.
So she refused. That's how it goes. Your figurine rider idea was naive.
No, please. Please don't give me anything. Harry, I don't want things. I want to go to the... I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked, but now, only boring hell remains.
Красавчик.
Ты тоже.
It's not, but... I don't know why I said but. There is no but. I can't answer your other questions, Harry. Not anymore. I have to go. We both said a lot of things.
It was her. I can feel it. I can see it in her tender, long fingers, in her wrists. Her hand wrote it.
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of letters.
You need to recite it to her. For effect. All of it. Yeah. Put a stake through your heart. She'll get hurt too. Collateral damage.
Please, Harry. I just don't have time for this. Okay, stop. Yes. Are you happy now? Very well. I wrote it. It was morning. You slept. There was hoarfrost. It was 100 million years ago. I was someone else then, filled to the brim with love for you, hanging on your every word. Oh, Harry, you were the coolest.
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure, cut in black, moves below. It's still her. Her legs. Her breasts.
And my crown of immortality? No. You scared her out of me. With your crying, the awful time we wound up having. Can't you see? I can never think you're cool again.
It wouldn't be a cheap rental this time.
No, it's too late. I found someone for whom I feel the same love I did for you. Only this time, he is more careful.
Your heart burns. Through the blackness, you feel the trickle of blood on the mattress below you.
Harry, do you notice how none of this is very funny? You know what I meant. We're talking about it again. It came up again. This conversation is about that. The coolest. With your leather jacket and your boot-cut pants. Smoking in the bus stop. I wanted you to be the rest of my life. The first and worst time I fell in love. I will always have that with me. It's a fact. Yes, let's talk about that too. Let's bring it up, the zoo. In Le Jardin, the day we went east of the river. It was just a day then, but to think, were we there now, you could touch my hair, kiss me. Is there really anything left? If not, we can always repeat one of the things we have already talked about. Talk about it again. If you do not feel like doing that, you should let me go.
She doesn't know what to say.
Yes, okay. I'm glad. It doesn't sound like you're better at all, Harry. It doesn't even sound like you're a moralist. It just sounds like you want to win.
Total annihilation. We got annihilated, Harry. It wasn't about responsibility at all. It was always only about you having no power at all.
I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day. Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago? Now I'm the X thing? You're confusing. I haven't even bought the tickets yet.
We all told you. Everyone warned you. Everyone.
Literally all of you.
I'm glad too, but I have to go.
What?
I am impolite with you, Harry, because you are the past. This is how human beings...
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said...
The morning? I don't understand. Oh my god, Harry, stop. I can't do that anymore. I'm not 80 years old, I'm 32. People my age...
This is a bit much for me. It feels like your ribs are cracking around your heart.
Then why are we doing it? Oh, Harry, you shouldn't have done that. Call me like that.
You ruined it. There was still a chance. You should have waited longer. She would have called you instead.
Oh, Harry, do you really think so? We haven't talked in years. I don't want months already. Soon it will be years.
The air gets cold around you. Black-eyed dogs wander the alleys. Apple trees hang their bony limbs low over the patchwork of roofs. Red and black. Revachol West, the evening sun. She's left and bloomed, far away from us. Our vast... It's Dora. That's what the voice said on the phone. Dubois, yes. Dora Dubois.
Oh no, no. We're not doing that again. Yes, Harry, I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler of the...
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrists.
That is very contested by modern historians. You're only saying this because things didn't work out between us.
Stop making her angry. She won't start loving you again if you call her a mass murderer. Seriously.
I'm not that either. Can't I just be? I am actually very ordinary, Harry. Below this gown and wreath, I haven't... This thing you've made me into. I'm sorry for saying so, but I just hate it. What is this? This is so far gone, Harry. I don't even... My lungs do not glow, Harry. I am just like all the others. None of us have glowing lungs. Stop making me into some kind of... Oh, Harry, I don't need you to forgive.
A warm gust wraps her gown around. An apricot-scented ghost wafts out of all the roads. We miss her footsteps. A completely different world.
Please, Harry. I don't understand what you're saying. You're pitiful and frightening. A smoky apparition of its former self. I have to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30.
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything. You should go on without me.
That was someone else. I betrayed her, overwrote her, and I'm happier for it. And I'm really going now. The time is up. I must be on the 10. I won't see you, but you will. Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a... I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti-frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for... Oh yes. This is real darkness. It's not death. See you tomorrow.
You're up quick. How was your sleep? Of course. I was just thinking maybe you've torn your stitches. Are you ready to move on? Are you sure you're okay? You thrashed around and you bolted up, half covered in blood from your wound. I did not want to wake you. Perhaps I should have? Was it a job dream?
The lieutenant nods. I understand. We've all been through similar things. It can be overcome.
Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed. The greasy old... This old cylindrical... The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old war.
That should do it.
The tank is far from full, but there should be enough inside to keep it. A dim golden glow animates the console.
It's on. Turn
automatic boot. The lighting in the room turns on with a sizzle, a dim ambient. The dial slides under the dusty glass, dark and silent, despite the power being on. An idea lights up in your head.
This is an air-gapped system. Of air, I think. No, I'm not. But it would not be very good military technique.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in. A sudden wave of anxiety makes your...
After you. So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here. I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a...
Don't be. I have a gun. I know. It was not easy to acquire.
old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big, then spits it out into the extinguished fire, unclouded by cataracts. His eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around. Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up. My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his right side. His left side
I did. And you opened it. I should have burned that console down. Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic counter. The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating, mental illness music. It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done. It's a 3-angong 446.
A Samurai rifle. How did you...
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Xinjiao commune. Military aid. You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball.
No. Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. It's out of bullets.
like an amputated limb in the sand. His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much on the butt. You see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a triangle.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti. All it has to do is use jacket, the right type and the right calibre.
He's liking this. The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right, some kind of involuntary response. Something is slightly off with it. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession in time.
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war.
The Commune of Rebachon? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
No. I've been on other islands, too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here, 43 years and 10 months. It's too long. It's not how a human being should live.
He just could. He nods, but he can now.
What have you been doing during...
Hiding, fishing.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are... 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering.
Always waiting. For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution. Always. A waste. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
Yes, what? To get things going...
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left. I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were a second is all for reaction to take hold. Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
He does not seemingly react. He does not believe a police officer.
And this was... when?
He is still not convinced of his safety.
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like the combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world. Huddled on the floor, the artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon. But I knew the commune.
A terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night. Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had
some kind of great terror, worse than you've ever seen.
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill every... And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most... that the bourgeois are not human.
Now is not the time, Lieutenant Yefreto.
I had to fight it. I could not stop anymore. It's not an island, what? It's a defensive fortification of the commune. The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in 02. Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. Death blow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone. Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people death blow? You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis, the black-eyed angel. How does anyone survive? I steal.
Now hold on there.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables.
How is your health, Mr.
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all.
You also have Druamine.
I have been running out of that stuff.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers.
It's the little joys. A dark joke, a sunshiny day, morphine. There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. I don't even know what. Inferno? At least you know it. The traders of this city turned the lights back on in the 30s, after the fighting stopped. It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
It was hard in the 10s. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers.
There were posters, campaign.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the common.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just... So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right? Useless now.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
The propaganda bunker.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. I don't want to. They're all traitors.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
I do. They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
The old man looks across the water at the city, the ruins, the moat.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit.
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party. Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
The old man does not answer.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the commune.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a knight.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology, he was like a cleric, a shepherd.
No, the opposite of that.
He nods slowly, then another tremor.
You're part of the meat shield. The human meat shield that surrounds the fat...
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions regarding...
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce. I've used it for killing people.
Here we go. A trail of blood.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moral? I've used it to...
Interesting. During or...
There is no after the war.
So he's continued killing after hostility. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't... This is what you live for. The great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal. Nothing comes to you. Silence, and in them, a chill, like electricity running up.
All is not...
Detective.
Damn it. Ask it already, he wants to say.
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
yes, that one.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and
A drop of blood in the saliva. Tear into him. Pile it on him. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
You're lost, Dwat. You're lost. I ain't going.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles. Kraz Mazov would have worn this, Yushenka. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you...
Minions of capital. What do you want?
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. Indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, great leaps of emotion, from anger to grief. You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. Is this some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
No, I won't be stuffed.
You said you take painkillers.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this...
Are you sure about him being lucid? Maybe it's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
Like some kind of decadent rock star.
Perhaps, but his seems more than that. The inner turmoil takes unexpected. In summary, you sense some underlying new...
No, I'm not okay. I shit.
There it is again. Erratic hand motion. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
Minions of capital. What do you want? Petty bourgeois law.
A drop of blood. Tear into him again. Pile it on him.
Not a lot of guns around that use military.
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons, eh?
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. So he saw you. Okay, so what? Don't let it divert you.
You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. You let those murderers rip. None of those people mean anything to you.
You're getting diverted. Push the gun.
So you watched the fight. Did you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all...
You don't know anything.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? .46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We had good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tying things up like this. When
murder.
Like a marionette on some invisible... This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You damn...
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dras. Too long.
I'm ready to die.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the...
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I saw you.
You had direct... You've been here.
I'm ready.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid.
Almost. He almost burst out there.
I saw you.
You had direct... You've been here.
I'm ready.
He's practically admitting to it.
Because it's a sniper.
Almost. He almost Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. Nowhere else. Nowhere in all of Martin. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, you got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul.
Damn Maybells. Oh,
he seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white...
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may. Clausia.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
My ears don't reach with the victim.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile. Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand?
Show me the souls, please, Mr.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. The model, these are not the unusual horizontal patterned souls you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room.
The size fits, but not the soul.
Corrupt henchman of Pete.
The old man.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer, armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer, beating us to the ground, moaning with got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your back.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
For a 60-year-old...
Minions of capital.
What strikes you? Indeed, it's a great leap. You've seen... Is this some kind of... Perhaps in summer?
No.
You said you...
I take...
Are you It's not a downer. Rather...
Like some kind of decadent... No.
There it is. Could it be a symptom of over...
Minions of capital. What do you want?
A drop of tear into him again.
Not a lot.
It's a... You look...
Damn. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it...
You did none of...
You're getting...
So you watched the...
You don't know.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this 4 point... Good. This feels good.
This pushed him, but not enough.
So
you had you've been here.
I'm ready.
He's practically admitted.
You're...
Almost. He almost burst out there.
You lost what? Minions of...
A drop of tear into him. Wait. Here, there were nowhere. Wait. Don't. You got it. Remember?
Damn.
He seems...
So many this...
South.
You must get her...
I may.
He knows her, but hadn't.
My ear. With...
There is a... Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
Show me...
The maker... These are not...
The size fits, but not the soul.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to you?
The lieutenant gives you a quick... The prints were his. You can see it in the old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silence sudden.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood. Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled the trigger. And I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death. And that's...
There, a hot flash of rage almost carries the smile away.
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, and so...
Mr. Dross, are you aware you confess?
Yes.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's prepared.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope?
A rifle scope
helps him see all the...
And if you don't like it, then you pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it...
You got him going. Connect every little piece. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
Minions of capital. 3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
Wrinkled up whore. Yes. Oh, they moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reaction. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mest phalanx weren't conscripts. Boys like us. Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes. Them fucking. I didn't like that. Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself, drugged out, and I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold it. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth.
Her body sweating from the drugs. Slick. He wants to see her covered in, to punish her.
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter.
She passed the Fell building on the coast?
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it.
And beautiful.
That.
How could you see what she looked like?
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags. Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there, after she was gone...
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the
No. Why would I do that? I did...
This implies that he's thought about it. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
Why would I need that trash?
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
It didn't say Clausia in there. It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachals that close.
You could tell she was a spook?
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses. Forged.
He's setting it up for you.
I'm not blind, am I?
It quickly comes to you.
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers and
everything in him fills with impossible longing. All at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Like that, too? Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass. I've been through all of Martinez. Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me.
Those two took... You hear the familiar scribble of the loot. One more loose end down. We're doing...
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hours ago.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over.
And he found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things...
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her wake. See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. Burning.
Made a little love nest up there. Sweaty linen and bottles they would use for God knows what.
A red-haired woman? Ruby.
That kind of thing is fine by the party. So is fine by me.
Seems like the answer was yes.
There's nothing.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like...
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know. Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to... No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying like a child the day after I killed him. Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do. Maybe, I told you, I have holes in my brain now.
A sudden pang.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line. One more down.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days. Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne's Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great, smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlight, there, on a dilapidated jetty, in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a seafort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Special consultant Heidelstam is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little... As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need some...
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done? You could get more out of him. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
A tragic comedy.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. The familiar put-put detest pushes the cobwebs out of his eyes, pushes the melancholy aside. He relishes it.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house, stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez, because of the racists, everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do. Pump full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez. Intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists, and every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Quayamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores...
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
Syphilis is a disease Philip III contracted in a whorehouse. The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of it. And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million. What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? No. Cynical design cockroaches like you erected a new, ironic version of it. We took art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture.
Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective?
The fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a...
He keeps having opinions about the union's leadership.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the unions.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his...
Edgar.
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have...
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
You can't live alone.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him
up. I haven't approached anyone. I hid.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you. Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for... I was right about one of those things. 20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzoff. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker. Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the...
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat.
Again?
What? Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't...
Okay, he didn't do the...
Давно начал стримить в общем.
But he's insinuating something.
Ну, может быть. Несколько лет. Сколько играю, столько стримлю.
There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost.
Красная проверка, блин. Еще логику качнуть. $97. Ну попробуем.
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water. He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind
that bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a and money. She liked that too. That Holly was
bordering on sentimentality. It drips out of him, tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
She was, and she was real soft on those money men. Had her called in, they say, on the eve of battle. Ran away.
No, that's...
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not. She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the truth.
Because she was dead. Because the cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal, grasping her tit and drowned. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. Heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her and the ruins. Someone shot her, or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes.
Another big spike of rage. Different.
Nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no...
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk. We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could...
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern. I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up.
The same old... There is plenty here to work with once he's in custody. And the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed.
Horse. Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. That one.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off.
He whispers with such predatory hunger. It borders on longing.
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals.
A treat. Better served for later. He's a pleasure delayer.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, Don't waste it, better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one. For him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
No. I waited too long. I waited too long and...
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
And I blew them all.
He reminded him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You tried to think of something else.
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Fuck you. You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days.
Glad we talked about what?
The old man stares despondently at the logs. His lip curls.
Glad we talked about what? What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court. Do you
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the stream.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about? Is this... really us?
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, but that means It's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair. White, the segmented antennae move with apprehension. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature, like laughter, a sort of happiness. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Suddenly, no, stop, be afraid. The invertebrate comes back to life, stridulating. Sets of complex eyes follow you, moving in tandem. No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lobe. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before, like burnt rope.
Careful, it may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as letting out that same apricot blossoms, white blossoms erupting, a sensation like cold hands on your face.
I exist. Tell me what it's like for you. Fire? Where? I do not have fire inside me. In me, there is not even. Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images. A kind of dark shapes of plants and animals. And internal sensations. As I am at the end of a narrow funnel. Weightless. So light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you. With all of creation reflected in your form, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck. With eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. That must be incredibly hard. The arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe, and when you fall, we will come to raise you up. But from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart.
In honor of your shit, Lieutenant Yfreter, which you kept together in the face of Detective. Arriving on the scene.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him. No, you're awake. I am real. Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily. I think we should eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth.
Wait, so...
Yes, they don't mind. Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulandia Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight.
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Rebelshaw. Yes, I do not have a startup display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage.
The deserter. He's been here for a long time.
No, you are. The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between. It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. It's at one point you're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time. We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first...
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget? Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sigh, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
It doesn't look like that, no. You're just staring at it. Okay. Is it somehow related to the case? I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. For she was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. The sweat on your arms feels cold as ice, as if you're frozen as well, in the shadow of this great...
I got it.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. The sensation is electrifying. It is surprisingly delicate. Looks like someone's got hurt in a fight.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen. It tastes like sugar, very faint. The anthropod towers above you, odorless, mostly comprised of water. The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. Warning! It's about to move. You can sense it. A small shudder passes the creature's arm. High above you, its black pearl eyes still glisten. Mesmerized, but another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you. As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like that, it's gone. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there.
It's gone. Apparently, yes, like a water strider. Only, looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now? In some kind of strange...
Our suspect is not looking so good.
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown. It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is... This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Oranje, is
Classia's hidden documents from the MT boy.
It's Clasia, with short black hair and glasses. Old photo, before life came and did what it does.
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or... Like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have...
By now, the lieutenant has accepted your...
I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it.
Would it? Maybe it was simply curious.
An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk.
Katardina Alazia was supposed to be her real name, where Clasia comes from. Remember? God damn it.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now. I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Alasia, or Clasia, or Anouk Meyer-Smith. We didn't even scratch. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what else she...
The winds are silent. The streets are empty of her. She is no longer in the city.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go. See.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes with fear and like an addict of some terrible substance. The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is...
The trembling mouth.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. Old age and shock. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the Phasmid, the combined strike.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke.
You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you? A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching a known species in the... You mean pheromonal? The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition toward Miss Oranje, like a drug? His pupils appear to be dilated. They still are. He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with it does not seem to be animated now it's left. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. That could be part of the shock. But you're right,
No response.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks? Mr. Dross, have you... The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse. He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this.
No one would believe you without it. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything, nothing. Just the last embers.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have...
No reaction.
Did you take this passport and... He hears us.
No reply.
Try something else? We got him back for a moment.
I lost...
He turns his eyes to the reeds again.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. This site is a T9, Mitodros. Was it a...
Silence. You've gotten all you will out of... The plastic cape flaps around his face. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the communal army.
Sounds an awful lot like.
It does. The RCM may descend from... It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was...
Nice political thought. It's going to be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch is making you pant.
There were all sorts of groups and groupuscules back then. It doesn't really matter. No. And upside...
With its horns in the sky. The symbol of the commune.
No, that's the...
A DeLorean-era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in...
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns. It does. The RCM, it's impossible.
Nice political... It's going to be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted...
No one remembers the ICM. The connotation is less important each year.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch. The flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 on the islet. There is almost no wind, just the light movement of like a silent orchestra tuning, of great importance to the few who attend. A silent hiss, sea air moving, the faraway roar of the city, distant like today, a low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box. Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air Cossacks called a Mama Dakwa.
Yes?
This is where a lesser man would stop to think about the pain shooting up his right leg and into his groin. Not you. You're concentrated.
I have. Is that why we're stopping?
The lieutenant nods in silence. A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should, with a bottle in your hand. Perhaps there's someone there, where it is in front of the video rental, smelling of maybe you always. Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of yes, yes, yes. No, we're not starting with that. Not now, not this time. In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez reflected. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front. There's a rain-soaked mech.
B triple pro.
The skiff is swaying on the wave.
We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you, but for the sound of conversation on the water. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him. I want to call you a teapot, but I'm honestly kind of impressed. No idea where you got all that gear, but there's no doubt in my mind that some bad people are looking for it. Also, you look like a fucking idiot.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen.
Oh, really? They don't seem...
Now that you start thinking about it, maybe they were afraid of you.
Actually, are you? Are you still a cop?
Vic, calm down.
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Comar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Battle Officer.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the...
The scene is making even him feel as...
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a...
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi. Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you...
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact...
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for...
What does he have to say for himself? Shit, kid. What an interesting moniker.
You. Shit.
Maybe you've deserved it.
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
And people on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk. Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to... And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Did you? Or did you literally not recognize my face? We've been partners for how long?
Judging by the familiarity you feel toward him. 2 years maybe. He's right. Don't start guessing. Now's not a good time.
Lieutenant, my name is not Horse-Faced Woman. It's Judith Minot. I was assigned to your unit 2 months ago. I thought we were friends. Okay, you're my commanding officer.
That will never happen, Jude. He's the rudest man on earth. He's the reason why the rest of us have to take sense.
Yes, I'm Trant Heilestam. I never said I wasn't Trant Heilestam. Mikhail?
His son? What a joke. Everyone is lying to you.
No problem. What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on. Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily. No. Everyone's just a brilliant master of disguises. Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells? He doesn't
See? He really doesn't remember. It wasn't a...
Yeah, that's very good. God damn it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
It wasn't like...
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we? Oh, you think it was cool you saying that? None of us wanted to see the abyss. The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant.
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing...
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before...
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Psychotraumatic amnesia, Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always I keep my shit together. Also I know...
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out, yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders.
The two cases in your ledger. The unsolvable case. Those cases were...
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have got...
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a... Look at the ruins, the neon, listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he...
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work, if not in his previous...
Leadership, now.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
They can keep that pension. You're rock solid. You can put your clothes on.
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. No, now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Think it doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. Not today, badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone. I don't buy it. Why do...
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
What you've discovered? You let the suspect escape.
We've read the reports, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Oh well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, or the fact that you're ever closely compared to the 6 people who were gunned down. The streets are literally red with...
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois.
Here comes the count.
He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. the loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Stop being sorry for 5 minutes.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He thinks of apologizing, but decides against it.
You've spent the week with him on this case. On Lieutenant Yefretor Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing. Also,
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least It's odd, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a hustler. He grinds. He makes the real. Other still, he is also a Mazovian socio-economist who believes in liquidating the ruling class. How he reconciles these 2 points of view. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the constant smoking everywhere, all the time. But despite all this, he can talk human beings into telling him everything. And he doesn't stop. In all the time well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke. Which, by the way, I have to disagree with.
Okay, he did.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case. And he solved it. We have a confession. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution. Who's probably committed a colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as a...
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the... You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Fucking hell. Is that...
Detective? The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence, exhibiting a strange,
So it...
I must say, this is absolute...
Yes. It really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his... Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church. That's great. Anthroponaut is a group.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but...
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
Female?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors.
Incredible.
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called... Must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs. As in cloning itself? What makes you think so? Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's a male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior.
That makes sense.
Very interesting. Such organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of
In his mind, he's already planning a nature reserve and knows a good guy for that.
Yes. That would be a chiromone. A pheromone that's seemingly beneficial to the herb. There are species of bees that, under the influence of chiromones, take wasp larvae.
Nothing is off the table. But
of course, Lieutenant. Of course.
They're not going to go for this speculation in the constabulary.
Yes, but also red-colored.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new...
This would really...
Absolutely, this is great. This does not...
Without it, you're doing good here. Quit while you're ahead, or no.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms. Derived, this man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom...
So, it is what...
Thank you, Trond. Thank you for that piece of culture.
Of course, excuse me, I just...
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
Possibly induced. But even without that, this man spent 50 years on the island. Also, we have a sniper's nest with full view of the room in which the mercenary died. Right?
It's a clean way.
Oh, it's way more.
Perfect folding mechanism.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leak? It will pass. In time.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have...
And eyes, too. Your return from the island.
Understood.
But a case against Everard.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related. For political...
This has to be good stuff for him to backpedal out of it at first mention.
How? It seems to be on...
He didn't quite solve it. He cross-pollinated information between the company rep and...
What? Handler of the terminal? Sounds like you got played, Harry. Because you were off your tits on Al Ghul. It doesn't matter how we know about Al. Is that why you want us to...
No, it's nothing like that. He was reckless with information, but ethical. We don't owe anyone anything.
God, can't...
Silence. Good. The man doesn't know what to say.
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in a...
The body was transported to Precinct 41.
You're not the only cop in the world.
Still, good work with the...
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why?
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing...
Of course.
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment it seemed like you were just wasting time.
Who's Kuno?
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs, I know you did. It's alright. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink. I don't want to, but you discovered a new species. So I have...
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So, maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to...
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody.
Now you will finally get to know who you are. The man looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry. Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher.
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep, the fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is, and your moves on the church floor.
Also, this guy. God, even this javelin-throwing freak here.
In your 20s or late 20s, you've really let yourself go since then. Yes, you taught gym in Coron. I believe that's the term.
The smell of sweat and glue.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre, Assel, the whole thing on the ice.
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that.
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the damage.
Dubois? It was Dora Engelund, I think. You've said her name, but you weren't married. You were engaged. Something like that. Half Vazan. No one is married anymore. This is Revachol. God, I don't know. 6 years.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with
you? Yeah, or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old incredibly bangable. She was extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman.
Snow Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin. Pain Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual...
Look, the sun is going down. It's time.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several.
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
No. You're too unstable to work for my boss. You're suicidal.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult.
He would immediately. I told you it's not that bad.
Us? With the bloody murder station, haven't you heard?
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just under...
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understanding.
Get back to it. We left Torsen and McLean to run the ceiling. It's not good. Mac the Torso Torsen and Chester McLean. They're not fit.
They are damn iconic though. Torsen.
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in...
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me.
He's anything but a loser. Although he would like to be seen as one.
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price.
He's one of the most highly regarded men.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys. Police Captain Ptolemy Price. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood.
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some church.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit.
He means it. The RCM, your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters.
Okay. It's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamp.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Revachol. Faubourg, technically, but it's the...
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you.
Thank you again, Lieutenant. Who is Lena?
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine. If we got...
She and her husband were conducting the... They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to...
She is going to be over the moon.
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need...
Distant traffic. A scrap of newspaper. It says, tensions rise in Terminal YC in light of the...
Perhaps. There are people who say the zone of control will not hold up long. They are not on the radio yet.
Yes. I hear worries from systems analyst in Vespa and Messina.
We've been hearing whispers in Jamrock too, ever since fall. I agree that something is happening. People are tense.
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering. Work with Price? I'm flattered, but...
Would fit him. And crazy enough, this truly came as a surprise to him.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is...
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant.
I do like the sound.
He's really considering it.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a...
Under the evening sky, the great district turns on its lights. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls inside. Fire, you close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmair? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's quite unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?